Hello. For my informative speech, I decided to do a personal culture experience of my own, something that my family has been doing for as long as I can remember. Obviously, it probably happened before I showed up. And that would be when we gather during Christmas or Thanksgiving, usually Christmas, and we make tamales. The reason why we usually wait to make tamales during Christmas is because it takes a lot of work and it's a lot of bodies, a lot of hands involved if you don't want to be slaving in the kitchen for multiple hours. Usually, Christmas is the best time of year where all of the family can get the time off. So we usually have a crowded house, 30 to 40 members of my family. Because of my Hispanic background, I believe I do contribute to a larger family than some families might have. But because we do have all these people there, it's the best time of year. I could honestly say one of my big things about the whole Christmas season is the tamales. So basically, what happens is we all gather there. About 15 to 20 of us are the ones that are actually be doing the cooking. There's always some festive music in the background, and of course, like most families, we are eating while we're cooking. Because it is a long process. Basically, each buddy has their own certain jobs. The big important thing about tamales is the masa, which is a dried cornmeal that's ground up added with lard, salt, flour, which is very important that this is done right because this is basically the essential. This is the home to your tamale. You're going to fill it with your spicy meat, so you want this to be flavorful, smooth. A secret thing that has been passed down from my family just to test out the kind of tamale to see how the masa is going to turn out is once you have put all the mixings together, you mix it over time, is you actually drop a small dollop into cold water. If that little piece of masa actually floats back to the top, it's an instant sign that you have a perfect masa recipe whipped up and it's going to be light. Another secret was passed down from my grandmother down to myself and other people in the family is to take a little extra time, make it early, and let that masa sit in the fridge for an hour. If you're able to do this, with already passing the buoyancy test, you're guaranteed to have one of the freshest, fluffiest masas out there. After all this is said and done, the main ingredient is going to be the filling. What do you like? Everybody's a little different. There's beef, there's chicken, there's pork. Some people just like cheese or vegetables with chilies, poblano peppers. We always make a little bit of each thing for my family. Obviously, with 30 to 40 people at a house, there's a lot of people with different flavors and different tastes. My specialty, what my favorite is going to be the pork and the green sauce. Basically, you want to get this pork down, sauteed, basically real soft meat, being able to shred it up real fine and let it soak in that green chili sauce. Next thing you do once you do this is you're going to get your husk, which is basically a corn husk that's tapered down at the bottom. Once you get the masa out of the fridge, you're going to go ahead and spread it on top of the husk. Spread it evenly on both sides. You're going to take your filling and run it right down the middle. You're going to go ahead and fold over the husk, fold up the tapered end, and take the little husk strings that are provided just to tie it in a knot. Now that's just one tamale. Obviously, just depending on the sizes, they can come in about varied sizes. About little bite-sized ones, or some of them I've seen up to a pound. We haven't made any like that at our house before. It just depends on how big you want them and if they're going to be more of a snack or more of a meal. So like I said, about 15 or 20 of us, we're going to be working for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we're talking, 300 or 400 tamales going to be all set up, tied up, put in the husks, and then going to go ahead and be set aside. Now that's when the secret weapon comes out. It's a 3-foot by 2-foot pot that my aunt has that we actually stick outside and put on a propane tank over a fire so we can go ahead and start stacking up all these tamales. Otherwise, we would be cooking them little batch by little batch and it would take up more time. We just go ahead and just empty out this pack. We go ahead and stack up all the tamales facing upwards out so all of the ingredients stay wrapped in the husk. Go ahead and put the lid on, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes of letting that steam do the work. And once the consistency of the masa isn't sticky anymore, you can touch it and it's breaking away from the husk, then you know you got your tamale about finished. Best part about this is not only are we spending time with our family the whole time, enjoying music, getting ready for the holidays, is once it's all said and done and the amount of food is all done, there's a satisfaction in knowing that you all worked together to cook this meal, which is probably a reason why the tamales taste so good in the first place. So the best part about this is, as good as they taste when they're fresh, you can freeze them. You can give them away as gifts. I've had people in my family that have actually sold them to friends because the tamales turn out so good. They last forever in the freezer. All you got to do is take them out, thaw them, maybe stick them in the microwave or a toaster oven, and you're back to having a fresh meal once again. That's just one of the different culture experiences that my family personally does. I know everybody does something different. That's one to me that I really enjoy because I have such a passion to cook. Hopefully one day when my son's getting a little bit older, I can go ahead and pass on my passion to him, and this can be a continued trend going from generation to generation. That's my speech. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.